Hello, and welcome to Struggle is Real. I'm Victoria, and every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I sit down and struggle honestly with writing for 10 minutes. For the context, this is a space that welcomes anyone, regardless what you're writing about. It can be your work project, your school project, you're rewriting a resume, or you're writing a short story, or you're writing a poetry. Regardless what you're writing about, at some point, in my experience, we encounter some stumble blocks. There's something doesn't click, it just doesn't move. So metaphorically speaking, we're stuck somewhere on the end and the dead end. So I decided, because in my life I have reached a point where fear of failure is fading away behind the fear of regret. So I wanted to share this motivation with anyone who needs to hear this. And I decided that I'm going to sit down and create for myself a very basic 10-minute habit in order to continue be loyal to my own creativity. And I wanted to share this with you. I understand there are different kinds of assignments, topics, work that you're doing. So I decided that I'm gonna create prompts for 3 different categories of people. In my experience, prompts are really helpful to recalibrate your brain and actually trick your own brain to think about something else, which can, in effect, open up the channels of your blocked side. And you never know when and how you're going to continue on your actual work. So I think it's worth trying. So category number one is dedicated to people in academia. People who are writing homeschool assignment, people who have PhD paper, maybe you have a job application, you're searching for a job, and maybe you have to rewrite your resume. All this stuff, or maybe anything else not fiction related. I think this is all creative, part of creating writing. I'm not what the majority of popular opinion about this is, but in my opinion, it's a lot of creativity when you have to come up with your resume that is has to be attractive to the employer. So with that, let's forget and put that aside completely, and let's think about the following. Remember your childhood and what was your favorite cartoon growing up and why? If you didn't have a favorite cartoon, what is your favorite animation today and why? And if you neither like cartoons nor animations, then why? Let's examine that. Number 2. So if you're a writer and you already know what you're writing about, you're in the middle of your project, it's a book, it's a novel, it's autobiography, maybe it's a short story, maybe it's a play or poetry. So if you have if you know where you stopped, or you have maybe a few passages that you stopped, choose one and let's look at it and try to write the next sentence. I understand it's going to be difficult. Don't think about the plot. In my last episode, I explored this. We forget about the plot. Today, we forget the actual work we're working on. This is the whole gist of this episode, of these episodes, is to, again, trick our brain and have it a little break so we can come back with new ideas and refreshed going forward with the upcoming week. So if you're stuck at the certain passage, let's look at the passage. And instead of thinking about the plot, let's remember, what were you doing on that day when you stopped at this passage? Let's describe the events chronologically if you can. Well, try your best. And how did you end up at this space when you stopped writing? And don't worry about the plot. I repeat myself, please don't worry about the plot. Then another thing that I really find useful in my writing is that I have placeholders, and they might sound a little silly, but they have been proven to be helpful to me. And I think I'm pretty sure others are doing that too. It's not just me. It's millions of people out there. I'm not coming up with this. Anyway, so I put in the brackets, I stop and I say, let's do more research. Today I was thinking about something and I'm like, okay, there was a topic, regardless, we don't talk about specific topics. I was like, okay, so I need to do more research about this topic. And my research is usually, it doesn't have to be a comprehensive study of the topic. I just know what I'm interested in and I'm gonna find out about that specific area. And we all are different. I don't know what your research is about, but only you know what your research is about, and you can write whatever you want in those brackets. Then my favorite one is that I'll come back to it later, or come back to it again later, and I try to tell myself, please, to be nice to myself. Okay, so, and next category is for me, not just for me, but you too, if you like poetry. I have been reading some poetry this week and I discovered this very old poem. It's not old, but I think it's a few decades ago. And it's just one verse. And I would like to read this because it's so cute and really hits the spot in my heart that makes me, it's very endearing. Okay, so little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone and they'll come back wagging their tails behind them. I think it's adorable. Anyway, going to the point. Writing a poem, it's very soulful thing to do, and it's not exactly as easy as like sound, and everyone knows it's difficult. However, one day I was attending this workshop, poetry workshop, and someone brought some prompts because we were supposed to start like writing poems in a circle. I'm like, I can't just sit down and write a poem out of nowhere. So somebody brought the prompts, and I noticed that it was so much easier because sometimes we just need few words to give us direction. And my prompts will be very easy and simple because it's a holiday season. So let's write about, I'll give you 3 prompts, and I'm giving myself 3 prompts. It's number 1 is childhood, winter, and snow. So childhood, winter, and snow. I'm going to write like 1 verse or 2, like it doesn't matter how many verses you write. Even if you don't write or it doesn't rhyme, it's okay too. And again, at the end of the day, everyone is free to write about whatever the inspiration is going to come about, because one writer to talking to another writer is a powerful connection. And even though I'm not in the same room as you are, and sometimes I'm alone, in the brackets, writing is a solitary activity, but talking about writing should not be. And I believe in the power of communities. So together, maybe there will be some little spark of inspiration, and let's just sit for 10 minutes. I want the space to be free, safe, and fun and pleasant. And I'm going to time us. It's 5:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have 10 minutes. And when my timer goes, we'll come back and I'll say goodbye. Okay, guys. Ready, set, go. And it's 10 minutes. Up. Okay. So, quick comment. What I did, I wrote the first verse with winter and snow. Nothing special. And then the third one, I got stuck on it. And then I was like, it's okay. It was fun though. It was fun to try. It's not that bad. I'm not going to read it because I'm going to repeat my favorite quote that always is in my vision, in my psyche, in my forefront, that actually prompted me and catapulted to this process is when I heard Margaret Atwood, who said that the only way you can write the truth is to assume that what you set down will never be read, not by any other person, and not even by yourself at some later date. So the way I hear it, the quote continues, it's from one of her works called The Blind Assassin. And I haven't read it. I just know the quote because I heard her saying this on YouTube. And the truth, from how I hear it, is truth of your heart. It's not just about the facts. The facts are the facts are important, but what's most important to me as an aspiring writer with a perfectionistic writer's block is the truth of the heart. And I hope that you'll be able to speak the truth and write the truth. And I hope for myself as well. And that's it for today. Have a great rest of the week. Holidays are coming. Whatever you're celebrating, I wish you a great holiday season. And thank you for being with me. See you next time. Bye.